Did you know that the celebration of Thanksgiving actually dated back to the 1500s? In elementary school, we were taught that Thanksgiving was a happy time of feasting between the European settlers and the Native Americans. However, the Thanksgiving that we all know and love is not the entire truth.
The Pilgrims' Thanksgiving Feast of 1621 was not the first festival of its kind in North America. During the Civil War, families were divided, so Abraham Lincoln used the theme of Pilgrims and Indians to calm things down through public relations.
The Indians, so generally referred to, were actually the ancestors of the contemporary members of the Wampanoag Nation. Thanksgiving was originally intended to be more of a time of prayer than a feast. Festivals were held before and after harvest cycles to celebrate peace and give thanks for good harvest and the hard work of the community.
The Europeans and Indian Americans did not always have friendly relations. In fact, in 1641, the Europeans kidnapped members of the Wampanoag Confederacy and took them to Europe to be sold as slaves. In 1620, the Mayflower ship dropped anchor on American soil. A treaty was made between England and the Wampanoag Nation, saying that if the Wampanoags let the Europeans be there, then they would protect each other from any enemies. They later collaborated on the jurisdictions and created a unified living system.
A Wampanoag man felt bad for the Pilgrims because they were not able to grow their European crops on the American soil. In the spring of 1621, he taught them how to fish and plant corn using the fish as fertilizer. The entire Wampanoag tribe took in the Pilgrims, showing extreme hospitality and even wanting to adopt the Pilgrims to live as Wampanoags.
After their first successful harvest, Plymouth Governor William Bradford planned a day of their own Thanksgiving at Plymouth. They shot guns and cannons as a celebration which alarmed the Indians, so the Wampanoag chief, Massasoit, gathered up 90 warriors and showed up at Plymouth, prepared to defend his people from being taken away again.
When they arrived, a translator explained that they were only celebrating the harvest. The Indians stayed and camped nearby to make sure it was true. There were about 90 armed natives camping near the 23 survivors from Mayflower. The colonists were vulnerable to the new land, new creatures, and even the trees. They were afraid to eat a lot of things. Although the Indians protected the Europeans were very nervous and aggressive. About 50 years later, about 75% of the Wampanoag Confederacy died by disease and warfare because they were in such close quarters to the European settlers.
During World War I and World War II, resources were low, so many people had to refrain from eating wheat, meat, and dairy products. A lot of the food had been rationed to send troops overseas, and the government encouraged people to rely on their war gardens. This was a very solemn time because most of the men were at war.
When the economy crashed, the Mashpee Indians were unable to support their proper Thanksgiving that was supposed to last for 4 days, and they are still unable to go back to tradition due to long working hours and the need to support themselves in a fast-paced economy.
A group of Native Americans and their supporters have staged a protest for a national day of mourning at Plymouth Rock in Plymouth, Massachusetts on Thanksgiving of 1970. Their goal was to offer an unvarnished view of what the archetypal Thanksgiving celebration from the indigenous perspective was.
Currently, the month of November is also Native American Heritage Month. Today, Thanksgiving isn't so much about worship. Modern American Thanksgiving is celebrated through feasting, college football, and family time. Some Indians today celebrate in the same manner as every other American.
A current activist of the mourning at Plymouth Rock said, "From the very beginning, Indians have been taking care of the broken-hearted white people. We just extend that tradition." Nowadays, most of us are taught about the friendly Indians and the friendly Pilgrims and people sitting down and eating together. Teachers don't really go into any depth about that time period and what was going on in 1620.
As Rohr said,
When we avoid talking about difficult or ugly moments in our history, we are preserving a culture that sees Native Americans as invisible.
When we expose our children to only racist and simplistic depictions of Native Americans, we are perpetuating the idea that they don't matter as a population with diverse cultures and contributions.
We are also underestimating our children's intelligence and capacity for thoughtful compassion.